In contrast to the last Longbeard replay that I had, this game is going to very much focus on cavalry and skirmishers. Last game, very focused on infantry rushing, getting into melee combat very soon, backing up my own cavalry and my allies' cavalry with horse skewers to help turn the catfight in my favor. This battle, very focused on bringing my own cavalry and skirmishers. And that's the cool thing about Burgundians. They have some very unique units. They have the Royal Lancers, highest charge bonus in the game with 265. Very good. Can actually beat Tagmata cavalry on the charge if they get a good charge and the Tagmata don't go into diamond formation. They can actually beat Tagmatas, which, hell, any unit that can beat a Tagmata cavalry 1v1, even if it's only sometimes, pretty good unit. Really like the Royal Lancers, but the cool thing about Burgundians is they have some of the best skirmish options in the entire game. Elite Germanic archers with 200 range, very useful unit. They have Barbed javelinmen, which have ridiculously high armor piercing, really amazing versus cavalry and infantry alike. And they have scattershot slingers, which have a bonus versus infantry. The scattershot, I haven't seen them really wreck any battles yet, and I didn't bring any in this game, but I think that with that bonus versus infantry, if you can get them into a flanking position and shoot into the back of enemy infantry, they can do quite a bit of damage. This game, I'm going to be fighting against the Western Roman Empire. Brought some Ballistari, some Legio Comitatenses, some cavalry units, Equites Dalmatae, and he has a hidden Elite Palatina force with some Western Auxilia Palatina hidden in the forest over there. Now, in this game, I'm going to be bringing a pike corps. It's not really a pike corps. I brought 5 pikes, and the reason I brought those is because I was pretty sure going into it I was going to have a skirmish advantage. Now, I don't think that pikes are particularly useful if you bring 5 or 6 of them if you don't have a skirmish advantage. Now, bringing 1 or 2 to just deter enemy cavalry from coming up the center can generally be a pretty good idea. Pikes are not amazing in Attila by any means, but they can be very useful at deterring enemy cavalry and just tying down enemy infantry units for a while. But they are very useful when you have a skirmish advantage because it forces your opponent to make mistakes. They either have to run away or they have to run at you and quickly close the gap. And they don't have time to flank around the pikes because if they try to flank around them, generally they're going to be getting shredded by missiles, and most people don't want to do that. So even though some infantry units in this game, a lot of infantry units in this game, can actually take on pikes from the front, they will take losses, and they are going to be getting shot by my Elite Germanic archers if they decide to come up the center. Now, he brought 4 Ballistari, and I assume he probably thought that he was going to have the skirmish advantage. Absolutely no chance against the Burgundians. 4 Elite Germanic archers, 2 of the Barbed javelinmen, no, 3 of the Barbed javelinmen, and I have a ton of cavalry as well. So what's going to happen here, you're going to see this nice 200 range. He's going to get up a little bit too far with the Ballistari, and they have very low armor at 3 armor. And now I'm going to get a bunch of fire arrow volleys into the Ballistari, and they're going to drop a lot. They're going to be a lot of nice little volleys right here. Another one right there, going to kill only 1 man, but going to focus down these Ballistari, and he's going to notice it. He's going to pull out, but not before taking a lot of losses. So that 200 range, very, very nice. Basically took down this Ballistari to half strength. We're at the start of the battle. Now, he's doing a smart thing. My opponent is doing a very smart thing here. He knows that I have a large skirmish advantage, and that my build is focused around cavalry. I have 2 or 3 Germanic nobles, 2 or 3 Royal Lancers. Oh wow, no, I only have 1 Royal Lancer, 1 noble Germanic horseman, and then... Wow, I can't count right now. It's 3 Royal Lancers and 2 noble Germanic horsemen. So, he's going to go for the forest and kind of camp out in there, which makes a lot of sense. The weird thing that's kind of changed from Rome 2 is line of sight is dramatically lowered. I'm going to actually manage to get up right about here with my main line relatively soon, and I'll often lose sight of where I'll just become hidden again. So line of sight very, very short in this game. It's a little unrealistic because, I mean, we're looking at where the enemy infantry is right now, and you can clearly see where they are. But it's kind of a nice feature because it makes ambushes a lot more useful and possible to pull off. So from that standpoint, I kind of like it. But when I'm bringing a skirmish build, very annoying because I'll click an attack order on enemy units, and then suddenly they'll just disappear from my sight. So I'm going to start shooting a little bit into the main line of the units that I can see. As you can see, most of them are hidden, and I'm going to pull some of my cavalry around the flank, get them behind, and just make his spears focus on that. My cavalry is going to have to make a big impact on this battle. The skirmishers are going to be very useful. They can do a lot of damage, but they can't win this by themselves. Pikes certainly aren't going to win this by themselves. It's going to be very focused on winning the cavalry engagement, probably with the help of some of the barbed javelinmen to turn the cav fight in my favor, and then coming around behind and hitting him from the rear, while the skirmishers just kite around. I'm going to have to kite this game, there's no question about it. I probably have a cav advantage, but he obviously has a huge infantry advantage, so when he decides to go for the gusto, when he decides to come up the center and charge me, pikes are going to have to tie him down. I'm going to have to shoot a lot, but the pikes are not going to be able to beat all these guys while my skirmishers shoot in. So I will probably lose the pikes before I'm done killing his infantry line, which is fine. But I just have to be pretty careful with how I take engagements and make sure that I kite effectively. This was pretty cinematic and pretty cool, I thought. His whole line is chilling in the woods, and I basically set the entire forest on fire. Now, I kind of wish you could make enemy units leave the cover of the forest by shooting into it. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't think most people would want to stand next to a massively burning tree. But there is actually no damage that's caused by fire on trees in this game, but it is pretty cool. And there is a morale penalty from all these fire arrows coming in. So, got some fire arrow volleys, brought up my pikes so that I could actually see something. Because, again, these guys are still hidden, and look at how close I am at this point. I'm, like, right next to them, and I can't see them yet. But I'm trying to bait my opponent to charge into the pikes, which should work pretty well. I'm really close to his main line. He's going to want to attack me relatively soon because he knows he has an infantry advantage. And my archers are just going to start shooting into the ballistari, some of these other units, as the forest burns. Looks like some of these Palatina are in Tetsudo at the moment. But they're going to actually break ranks, and this was a mistake right here. Didn't get my pikes down. Kind of mismicro my pikes in this game. And Elite Palatina will have no trouble beating up pikes from the front. But especially if the pikes don't get their actual pikes down. Yeah, like you can see my Germanic pikes already down to 90 men. Palatina going through them real easily. So cav fight out here on the flanks. Noble Germanic horsemen against the Comes. That's not a hard fight for them at all. And the Royal Lancers, how many kills did they get off the charge? 26 kills off the charge on Equites Domite. Very, very nice. Not great in prolonged melee combat, but there isn't going to be prolonged melee combat. They're going to rout basically off the charge there. So very nice. But he does have 2 more Equites Domite coming in. And this is when I decided pretty soon here, I think, that I needed to bring one of my, or some more cavalry over here, and also a barbed javelinmen to help me win the cav fight. In the center, pikemen not doing too well, but they're doing their job, which is just to tie down the enemy Elite Palatina while my skirmishers get time to fire. You can see the barbed javelinmen shooting in, and my my Germanic archers as well, doing a lot of damage to the Legio Comeditenses. And yeah, barbed javelinmen already up to 55 kills here. And pikes are holding relatively well, but they're going to break pretty soon. Cav fight still going on in the background, and I finally got some of my cavalry around into the ballistari, which is good. I'm rounding his skirmishers. I am now behind his main line. If I can get some charge bonuses into the back of his infantry while they're tied down on the pikes, that'll be really huge for me. But I wanted to focus on bringing the ballistari off the field first. They're kind of exposed at the moment. Wanted to get them off the field, but one problem is the Royal Lancers, they didn't get a charge bonus here, and they didn't take their lances out. So they're going to take a long time to kill this ballistari. And that's not going to be great for me because I really need them to get freed up as soon as possible. Noble Germanic horsemen into the back of some of the Elite Palatina, who got skirmished down, and the pikes actually did hold on this side. So this entire flank for Western Roman Empire is going to rout. And now you're going to see the kiting is going to have to start happening. Most of my melee units are down. I have to commit my general at this point. Germanic nobles are not good at all, so you generally don't want to send them into melee unless you absolutely have to. At this point, I have to, though. Have to tie down the Western Auxilia Palatina. And now my main line of skirmishers is going to have to start pulling away. And this kind of got scary because the Equites Domite, they're tying down all my cavalry over here, and then one of them's going to come free. And he's going to charge all these skirmishers. Now, if this one cav actually does charge all those skirmishers, they're going to die. So he was smart to pull away, because with the barbed javelinmen and 3 or 4 archers, he was not going to do well here. He's going to try to win the cav fight first, and he's actually going to be able to do it, because I only have the one noble Germanic horseman that's very depleted at this point. So he's going to win the cav fight over on that side. But main line has gone pretty well for me. A little bit of mismicro on the Elite Germanic archers, but I'm going to pull them out. And you can see Royal Lance, just 4 men left. Those were the guys trying to kill the Ballistari. And now just skirmishing. Like, this is just going to be kiting and skirmishing and using what cav I have left to tie down enemy infantry units. So the committed tenseis coming in. They don't even look like they're running, but I guess they're just very tired at this point. They're charging in. And I am going to get charged by the Equites Damate. But now all my archers and barbed javelinmen are going to make their presence felt, because with that bonus first large on the fire arrows, the 10 bonus first large, and look at how many arrows are coming in here. The Damate are just going to rout. Like, there's nothing they can do. And then another unit right here of Equites Damate. They're going to kill one Elite Germanic archer, but with all these barbed javelinmen, look at the damage that's getting done to these guys. All that cav is going to rout. And all the skirmishers I brought in this battle really, really paid off. Like, we're going to look at the kills at the end of this game, but you can see they've really, really made their impact felt. And the main line for Western Roman Empire will rout, and I'll take the field. So, Barbed Javelinmen. Very versatile unit, super useful in a cav fight and against enemy infantry units. 134 kills, 82 kills, 153 kills. Very, very good. Noble Germanic Horsemen, 248 kills. Royal Lancers didn't do quite as well as I wanted them to. The thing about shot cavalry is you can't pull out in this game. You'll just take lots and lots of losses. So when you have a 265 charge bonus, it's very, very nice for hammer and anvils and taking cav fights, but once they're same with every other shot cavalry, once their charge bonus is depleted, they become not very useful in melee. So if you don't get a good charge bonus off, or you kill one unit and then try to charge in again to another unit but don't get your charge bonus off there, they really kind of do get beaten up in prolonged melee, and I lost both those units there. Elite Germanic archers didn't actually do a ton of killing, but the morale penalty they set off was very, very useful. 41 kills, 76 kills, and then my main pike line didn't do a whole lot except for this one unit with 106 kills, but they did absolutely what I needed them to, which was tie down enemy infantry units, allow my skirmishers time to do the damage, allow my cavalry time to do the damage. And that's what happened. Managed to get my cavalry around, win the cav fights on at least the left flank, get into his skirmishers, and take the field from there. So, Burgundians, really cool faction, definitely a different playstyle from the Longbeards. I like them a lot. If you want to skirmish or kite your opponent, this is probably a good faction to do it with. I had a lot of fun using them in this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you all later. Indy Pride, signing out.